Hello, everyone. I'm here with my friend, Jail the Feminist. Good to meet you, sir. Would you like to open a pre?
Yes, yes. Today, I found out something that's quite shocking. I wasn't expecting this. I've always known that Reddit is flawed, right? It's highly biased. It's biased towards feminists, quite frankly. And there's a problem with Reddit because all the Reddit groups, I'm not even talking about political ones, but all the Reddit groups, almost all of them, they've got a moderator that's a feminist. So they get
Yes.
kept by feminists. So they've got loads of control. But now they're cracking down on legitimate groups that are pushing back against misandry. As you can see here, the group Reddit misandry is gone. It got zapped.
Yes.
Yes.
What is it? It's a subreddit was banned due to violations of Reddit content policy. Like you did, and that's vague. So that
Yes.
there's no details at all.
Yes. So I think so. There's many feminist groups on Reddit that break the rules. They're brigading, right? Because that brigading is you're not allowed to incite links into other groups to falsely report or downvote them or cause drama. You're not meant to brigade, right? That's against the rules of Reddit. But many feminist groups incite brigadement. They say go into this sub and do what you got to do, right? Plenty of feminist groups do that. Feminist groups link to other subreddits and just tell blatant lies about them. That violates the misinformation policy as well as brigading. Okay, there's many feminist groups that promote hate speech, like female dating strategy. Okay, that's actually advocated violence against men numerous times. They've toned it down, but they still do it from time to time. They still slip up, right? And a lot of it is just implied or it's just outright contempt, right? But our misandry has gotten taken down. And the problem is Reddit is not even the worst social media site. There's social media sites that are worse than Reddit, like Facebook and Twitter. But Reddit has sunk to a new low. There is no reason to ban this group, right? Period. Calling out misandry is 100% legitimate. Full stop.
Yeah.
So feminist groups get to call out misogyny even when there is none. They get to make it up and accuse people of being misogynist. They don't get taken down. We point out real examples of misandry and we get banned.
Yes. Let me tell you something. So a recent sub of mine, he turned around and just left a comment about women, just their sexual preferences, saying, you know, they choose violent men. It wasn't women are violent or women are scumbags or anything like that, and it didn't make it through. I saw it in my bell icon, and this is criminal. This shouldn't be allowed. Like you're not allowed to say anything negative about the female sex, even if it's true.
YouTube, let me explain. YouTube, in case you haven't noticed, right, have started to crack down on the comment section. And how they do this, they don't tell you what is going on. They make comments disappear, right? So what they want you to do, they want you to leave a comment, and when they disappear the comment, they don't even want you to know. They don't want you to notice what's going on, right? So you don't work your way around it. You're not giving a heads up. You're not told this is against the rules. They just make the comment disappear. And it's gotten particularly bad the past year. I didn't even notice. 2 years ago, I wasn't aware of this going on. It's like a year and a half ago when it's really started to happen, I think.
Yes.
It's a recent phenomenon. And feminists actually advise Google. They advise Google. So can I just say what this is equivalent of, right? Could you imagine if an online organization was advised by the KKK, you know, and the KKK said to them, look, too many black people are getting too uppity on social media. You need to start censoring the posts because it's the equivalent of that.
It is,
right?
100%.
Feminism is a hate movement, pure and simple. There is no legitimate form of feminism. There is nothing valid about feminism. Full stop.
Now, this is how bad it is too. If a guy says something crude or swears about another guy or just another group, it'll show up in my spam filter. It'll be my choice whether to let it go through or not. But these ones, they're not giving you a choice.
Yes. I want to make this clear. This is nothing to do with rudeness either. It's saying hard truths about women. right? Women select for high status men. Women select for violent men, right? They've done studies. The more violent you are, the more likely you are to be sexually selected. There's a correlation there, right?
Of course.
So at the end of the day, this is nothing to do with being rude. And look, at the end of the day, women are allowed to be rude towards men. They're allowed to say kill all men, right? We should be able to be rude to them back, as far as I'm concerned, right? Men should be able to say rude things like women, or if they're not, women should be held to the same standard, and they should not be able to say rude things like men. And the manginas, right? The manginas who run these social media sites, they think, oh, it's just women expressing themselves, it's just them venting. It's good that they can vent and express themselves. Fuck no. Fuck no, it's not good at all. It's teaching these women that they're allowed to behave in a bad way. They're allowed to target men and allowed to get away with it as well while they're protected. And here's another thing as well on a lot of these social media sites. What happens, Twitter's particularly bad for this. Feminists will go around insulting men, swearing at them, belittling them. And when men swear back and retaliate, the feminists will screenshot it, get the men banned, and they're ready to stink in the media about misogyny against women when they're the ones that started it, right? So if a white nationalist went to a black rally with black people, I was saying racist things to them, right? People wouldn't take the white nationalists seriously when they start to play victim, when they get retaliation. But this is what the feminists are doing.
And it works again because it's not really about believing the women are victims. It's just that
Yes.
society are hostile to men by nature,
Yes.
and they want to do this to men. So they're
Yes.
just needing a thumbs up.
They want to keep men in their place. Men want to put other men into their place, make them have deference to women, right? And it's got to end. This has got to end. And this is a very bad precedent. I think Reddit is going to go down the toilet very quickly because other groups are going to get targeted and going to get taken down. And I think this Reddit was taken down because it was targeted by the Reddit group against hate subs. Shall we look at them now? The
Let's
link.
take a look. Here we are. Are against hate subreddits.
Yes. Now I want to explain what this group is about.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's a feminist front, and the title is actually a complete and utter lie. Right. There was a Reddit group called People Drawing Women, right, that we ran a while back. It's still up, right, but it's not very active. And it's a group about anime girls. And it's an anime girl group, mostly, and it boots feminists out. Because what was happening is the feminists will come in and they'll talk about objectification and their age of consent control about fictional drawings, even if the drawings were of women in their 20s, right, fully mature in their 20s. Yes. There's still age of consent control over fictional pictures. So we banned them, right? And a lot of people we banned were from the pink pill community, really nasty radical feminists. And they hooked up against feminist hate subs and they got us put on a list. And what they do, they put harmless groups on their hate list and they mix them in with extreme groups, like extreme porn kink groups. And they just smear them in and say, oh, look, they're just as bad as each other, which is a complete lie, right? Again, also, they do not ever, ever, ever speak out against feminist hate, of course, which should be obvious to anyone with an understanding of how feminists behave. They never speak out against feminist hate. Yeah. So it's not against hate subs, it's against subs who are against feminists, really.
Of course.
Now, here they are spreading lies about feminists. Shall we read? Do you want to read this? Because it's
you mean sure, but you mean the men's rights, right?
Yes, it's spreading lies against men's rights. Look, read it. We'll read what it says.
Yeah, let me. Okay, it's at 125. Okay, hopefully they can read this easily. Our men's rights spreads incredibly dangerous propaganda that women supposedly constantly make false sexual assault accusations, when in reality, over 90% of assault reports are true, yet most yet are dismissed. They're willing to empower assaulters just to own women, by the way.
This is bullshit. Now, let me explain what's going on. Yeah. Just to own women. Let me explain what's going on. First of all, when something's reported to the police, if there's not strong enough evidence, you don't know either way. So the claim that over 90% of assault reports are true is a lie. It's just a lie. You don't know one way or the other. Okay. Now, even if 90% were true, even if this is true, right, I think the average for false reporting for other crimes is actually something like 2%, right? So even by their own estimate, even if what they said is true, which is not, by the way, but even what they said is true, false reporting for rapes is 5 times higher than it is for other crimes,
Yes.
right?
Now, I was going to
Right?
back you up by saying, look, we talked,
Yeah.
I did a video about Cosby,
Yes.
and Cosby
Yes.
was let go because he had what, 60 women all accuse him, and
Yes.
none of them, nothing, none
No,
of
no,
them
no, no, no,
had
no,
that.
no, no. Here's a problem with that. 60 women actually didn't accuse him. What happened, because I've looked into it, 60 women said he was creepy. Not every,
Yes.
most of those women didn't even accuse him. A lot of them said, oh, he was creepy. He came on to me. I got a bad vibe about him. He tried it on with me, but it didn't go anywhere. But I felt creeped out. That's what a lot of the 60 women were saying. So it wasn't
Yes.
even 60 accusations,
No. But the
right?
point is, out of the accusations, obviously none of them had the actual power to get him convicted.
Now,
Or-
here's a problem. It is a problem as well. When you're talking about historical accusations, they're going to be very hard to prove one way or the other,
yes.
period. So if something happened 30 years ago, how are you going to prove it? Right? It's going to be very difficult to prove. And a legitimate working legal system can't operate like that, right? It's better that innocent go free than, no, it's better guilty go free than innocent gets punished. That's the
Yes.
principle of the legal system,
Of course.
right? And I highly doubt Cosby did anything at all. It's highly, highly unlikely anyway. But here's a bit right at the end. This is fair. They're willing to empower insulters to own women. So they're falsely accusing men's rights activists of empowering assaulters to own women. What they're doing, they're projecting their own mindset because they want to own men and they want to empower false accusers, right? And this is not about owning women. This shows a complete lack of empathy, and the person who made this is a psychopath, an utter psychopath, right? Men are human beings, right? Men have got self-regard. Men do not want to get falsely accused and have their lives destroyed. Men who are not psychopaths do not want to see other men getting falsely accused and having their lives destroyed. It's not about empowering insulters or to own women. And the fact you try and frame it that way to smear men who don't want to be falsely accused, who want a functional legal system, shows you how disgusting you are. How disgusting. We don't need to read this, but scroll down.
Okay.
It's just dribble. It's just dribble. It's just
Yeah.
blah,
Okay.
blah, blah.
Where do you want to stop?
I'll carry on.
Okay. Do you want to go into comments?
Here. Listen, here.
Yeah. Okay.
Go.
Is this good?
Go to the top. It's not the very top.
Okay. To the moderator?
Yes, also moderator.
Okay.
So
here-
how to participate in posting against hate subs, how to report hatred and harassment directly to the admins, against hate subs community rules, against hate subs frequently asked questions. Can you scroll down?
Yeah.
How to get banned from against hate subs. Okay, now how to report hatred and harassment directly to admins. Why is this getting linked here? Why?
Yeah.
Because what they're doing, right? They're trying to get the group reported, but it's an auto message. So you've got plausible deniability, right? Oh, it's an auto message. We're not saying this particular group, but they're doing it because they're trying to imply that, hey, girls and guys, get on it and report this group and get it shut down.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. And against hate sub breaks the brigading rules, and they've had smeared entire communities and groups. So they'll call them misogynistic, they'll accuse them of harassment, they'll accuse them of stalking, they'll accuse them of threats of violence, they'll accuse them of being pro-rape with not one single shred of evidence. So there's one or two really strange and deranged subs that got banned, like rape fantasy subs, right? So what they'll do, they'll take a rape fantasy sub and they'll place it right next to an anti-feminist sub in a list, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's really weird. And look, rape fantasy is something that women are into more than men anyway. So
Much more.
if you're against,
much more.
yes. So there's a whole list of groups, and they're trying to put men's rights in this group, and they're trying to get it banned, and it actually might work. It actually might work because they've got Reddit misandry down and out, a very harmless group. and also they got a MGTOW 2 banned. So I don't like MGTOW. The label's trash. It's strongman posturing. It's for losers, right? As far as I'm concerned. But the first MGTOW group should not have been banned, right? So they made a second MGTOW group that was more tame, more moderate. They controlled what they said about women, right? A lot more. And it still got banned. It recently got banned.
Because look,
So
whatever you might want to say about MGTOW,
yes.
they do say truthful things that about the opposite sex that is not flattering.
Yes.
So I mean, they still have to go in the end.
Yes. Yes. And also, men are not allowed to call women gold diggers and whores or sluts. That's beyond the pale. So these people can call men rapists, they can call them pedophiles, they can call them misogynists, they can call them violent, but men are not allowed to call women sluts or gold diggers. You see? So that's beyond the pale, right? Men saying, and look, I don't think men venting on about sluts is healthy for men. It's not productive, but it's nowhere near as bad as peer smearing someone. That's
Yes.
far worse. It's far, far worse. Yes.
That's a real groin kick. That's it's only the lowest of the low use that.
Also, I'm gonna go to the history of this sub. This sub was actually banned for a week, right? It was banned. It was banned under the Reddit purge of extreme feminist groups. When they did that like a year and a half ago, they got purged, but they appealed the ban on Twitter and it got reversed. This is a banned group, and it got banned for a good reason. They were inciting brigading, stalking, harassment, and the sub was filled by the most vile, extremist feminists out there. The ones who say kill all men, ones saying racist things, ones saying homophobia. The feminists who say gay men are misogynists and they hate women, stuff like that, right? It was full of these people, and that's why it got banned. But because of female privilege, the ban got reversed. Now, I want to talk about something that's related to this, okay? Because I'm going to talk to the men's rights losers right now. This is to you. This is to people like Blue Orange, right? And Men Are Human, the person who runs that Twitter and runs the MRA memes group, right? Okay, you want to debate feminists, right? You want to invite them to your group, you want to debate them, and anyone who doesn't want to debate them, you'll ban, right, as being an extremist. So feminists ban you, they marginalize you, they silence your voice, and you want to debate them like a complete loser. Yeah, they're banning you, they're silencing you, and your Reddits are going to go down soon, and you want to debate them, right? How many feminists have been converted by this debating tactic? I think probably like 2, right? Hardly any get converted, right? So they come in, wasted our time debating them. It drives people like me out because I don't want to spend my time debating feminists, right? And trust me, there's lots of men who won't voice their objections to this, right? Like me, I voiced my objection and I got banned like over a year ago. Pro Bell Vendetta got banned as well, right? People would voice their objections, but there's many who just drop out silently, and you're willing to kill the momentum of the men's rights movement to debate feminists who want to ban and silence you completely. And this is a stance we're going to have to take against feminists. This is a mindset men have to get into their heads,
Yes.
right? The mindset is we have to ban them, because I think it's been proven you can't have feminists at all in any space without them attacking men. Once they gain any amount of traction, once they gain any amount of mass, they'll take over, they'll exclude, they'll ban. And they'll always set it up where there's a double standard in rules. They'll set up where the rules don't apply to them, but they'll apply to you. We have to keep feminists out of society, full stop, right? Talking out against misandry is 100% legitimate, right? So
yes,
men
exactly.
being silenced from saying that is marginalizing them. It's an attack on men. It's very disrespectful. It's very controlling. It's very malicious. It's absolutely evil.
Yes.
It's evil. So we have to ban them.
Well,
We
here's
actually have to make
another thing. Hold it. Let me add to it. Well,
Yeah.
the men's rights advocates, for the most part, are their own worst enemy because they don't gatekeep. For example, white nationalists will make their way in. Most of the men's rights aren't white nationalists, but what happens is that becomes another smear. The feminists will
Yeah.
look at these white nationalists and say, oh, the men's rights are all about white nationalism. You know, they'll
Yes.
do that. And
Yes.
to stop that, at the very least, you've got to keep the white nationalists out. You got to keep all these other trad cons out. You got to keep all the guys who are actually
Yeah.
anti.
But the problem is all the moderators on men's rights are tradcons. They're right
Yes.
wing nut jobs. So they don't care. The thing is that they always use the free speech excuse for feminists, white nationalists. But as soon as you speak out against marriage, they'll ban you. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
The free speech is no longer uh, no longer worthy. All of a sudden, there
So
is no free speech. You know,
yes, it's a lie. It's a lie. I think it's been proven time and time again. It's a lie. We've talked about this before multiple
yes,
times. It's a lie. It's
yeah.
a lie. So what's going to happen when the subreddit men's rights gets taken down, right? When that gets taken down, or if it gets taken down, are men going to finally wake up and go, this is too far, or are you just going to make an excuse and just take it lying down?
Look, my vote is sadly the latter because that's been
Yes,
my experience for men forever. And well, ever
yes,
since I've got involved, is men
yes,
take it lying down. That's why people guys put the smiley laughing faces when they say, "Hey, I just got bitch slapped by some woman on the internet."
yeah,
He'll
yes.
see it, then put a smiley emoji. He said, "What's the smiley emoji about?"
Oh,
You
oh,
know?
the laughing one, the laughing one. Oh, look, I
Yeah,
just got banned from Reddit. That
yeah,
shows them. Why is that funny?
yeah.
They shouldn't have the power to ban you. I don't find that fucking funny, right? Or we should have the power to go, you're a fucking bigot, you feminist piece of trash. Get the fuck off the internet. You're getting banned. Then we'll make a smile. Do you know what? When I've got the power to ban feminists from the internet, then I'm going to use a smiley emoji or the laughing emoji. I'll
Yeah.
rub my hands in glitter. Done. I actually want feminists jailed. I want them jailed. They belong in prison because they've shown they don't just spread hate speech. They actively harm men. They take our rights away. They get into governments and they get laws changed and they marginalise men. They make sure men don't get services. They make sure men get marginalised. They go into houses of parliament when they become politicians and spew hate speech against men. Feminists have to be stopped and they belong in jail.
Yeah,
It's
they
time we got
attack
radical.
children too. They attack children
Yes,
because little boys they call scrotes. They call little
yes,
boys who haven't done anything to anybody names, and
yes,
they want to see them harmed as well. I
yes.
mean, when you attack at a child, you are the lowest of the low.
Well, what about that woman? What about a woman in the UK? She was like high on drugs. She pulled a female ambulance worker's hair out and she slashed a male nurse in the face with a knife. And she didn't go to prison, right? She didn't go to prison. She got a suspended sentence. Feminists, you can read it in The Guardian, feminists campaigned to have female prisons closed,
Yeah,
right? So you don't think there's a relationship between a woman being able to slash a man in the face with complete impunity and not go to prison and feminists campaigning for female prisons to be closed. You don't think there's a link there? There is a link there. They want women to have the right to slash men in the face with a knife and get away with it. You're, do,
you
do
get
you know who
away.
you are?
You can take away female privilege. Prisons for women.
Yes,
You
yeah,
will. That is saying to women they can do whatever. There is no crime for women.
yeah.
They'll do
Look,
whatever they want.
men, what men will have to do is if they get stabbed by a woman or attacked by a woman, they'll just have to take the law into their own hands because they know they're not going to get justice. They're not going to. If a woman slashed me in the face with a knife, I wouldn't wait for the police to sort it out. I'll tell you that now. I'll tell you
Well,
that now.
this is why the last video I made was so important because
Yeah,
it's what they're doing is they're trying to say the average guy who will stand up for his rights will be labeled as an incel, and incels
yes,
will be labeled as terrorist. So, in other words, if
yes,
you attack a woman in
yes,
self-defense, you'll be labeled as a terrorist, and they can
yes,
send a SWAT team after you. You know,
yes. Well, the thing is, do you know that male that male ambulance worker who had his face slashed with a knife by that woman, right? Let's say he decided to get revenge after he saw the sentence. Let's say he was at court and he saw she didn't go to jail, right?
yeah,
And he was angry about it and he jumped her off to court and slashed her face in retaliation. And he went an eye for an eye, right? Let's say he did that. I could promise you he'll go to jail for that.
yes, he would exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Even if he went to court, it's just an eye for an eye. You didn't send him to prison. I didn't get justice, so I had to take justice in my own hands. He'll go to jail for at least 10 years. I promise you. I promise you.
Exactly. Men really are the N word now. We are.
Yes, yes. So I think we've covered everything.
Yes,
We're going
we
to get
did.
marginalised. We're going to get silenced, and it's happening, and it's getting worse. This is a real turning point with the ban of Reddit misandry. It's a real turning point.
Yes.
And shame on you, Reddit. And you know what, Reddit? You fucking idiots, right? Because I've been banned from Reddit due to false reports by feminists. Reddit, right, has this thing, right? They want to have coins. You can like give people gold coins or silver coins, right? And you have to pay for it, or you get some free, but you got to pay for it if you want to donate people coins regularly,
Yeah.
right? So they're asking you to pay the money to use a feature, and you know what? I'd be glad to do that sort of thing normally, right? Except you're a fucking website that bans and marginalizes men. No, fuck you. And if you ever spend, you're watching this, if you ever spend money on Reddit, don't spend any money on Reddit. Any.
Yeah.
Give them nothing, because they've deserved it, right? And the only time I'll ever give Reddit money is when someone new takes over and he's pro-male. That's it. And that's not going to happen anytime soon. So give Reddit nothing.
Good. I think that's good to end this with. I think this is
Yeah.
perfect length. Sir,
Yes.
thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thank you for everything.
Yes.
I appreciate
And you know what? I wish I didn't have to be here. I really wish things weren't like this.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, at this point, if we really thought we could just go and join our hobbies and just forget all this, we would.
Yes.
There's no escape.
Yes.
There's no alternate country to run to where missing
Yes.
exist.
Yes.
Okay, goodbye, sir.